we're making our way through the Suez Canal, and something would happen that would quite literally blow us off course. Alright, we're back with another episode of Recreating the Disasters, and today we're focusing on the Ever Given. So yeah guys, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we have the Ever Given, and this actually may be one of the most recent disasters we've covered so far, so that's pretty interesting, and as you can see, this ship is fully loaded and ready to go. So, Jlkillen, let's hear a little bit about the history of the ship, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, so the Ever Given is one of the largest container ships in the world. The Ever Given is one of 13 container ships built to the Imabari 20,000 design developed by Imabari Shipbuilding. The ship's keel was laid down on Christmas Day in 2015 and was launched on May 9th, 2018, and was finally completed on September 25th, 2018. The ship had an overall length of 1,312 feet and was one of the longest ships in service. The beam measured almost 193 feet, and her height from the keel to her main deck is almost 108 feet. Ever Given has a gross tonnage of almost 221,000, and a net tonnage of 99,000, and a deadweight tonnage of almost 200,000 tons at the design's draft. The ship's container capacity is 20,124 TEU, or 20-foot equivalent unit. Her propulsion system consists of a single low-speed two-stroke diesel engine coupled to a large fixed-pitch propeller. At 79 RPM, this engine produced a total of 59,300 kilowatts, which equates to 79,500 horsepower, giving her a speed of 22.8 knots. For maneuvering in ports, the vessel has two bow thrusters that produces 2,500 kilowatts or 3,400 horsepower. She was traveling from Tanjung Pelepas in Malaysia to Rotterdam in the Netherlands, which is what brings us up to where we are now.
Alright, so thank you Jlkillen, and let's go ahead, let's raise anchor and set sail. Now what we're going to be recreating today, which most of you should know already because of the memes and just how popular the story of this event was, is not really a disaster for the ship. It was more of a disaster for the global market, at least in the shipping realm. So moving cargo from one country to another through the Suez Canal. So it became this massive sort of financial and, again, global disaster. And we're about to see what caused all of that. Alright, so as you can see, we're now starting to enter the Suez Canal, which is what we need to go through to get to where we're going. And this is a little wider than the Suez Canal, and it's also got rocks on either side, so that is a bit dangerous. But in reality, it wasn't really like that. I mean, if you've seen the photos, you sort of have an understanding of what the Suez Canal looks like. So, yeah, but we're making our way through the Suez Canal, and something would happen that would quite literally blow us off course. And what was that, Jlkillen?
On March 23rd, 2021, while traveling through the Suez Canal, the ship would be caught in a sandstorm with strong winds measuring between 40 to 50 miles per hour. The strong winds would result in the loss of the ability to steer the ship, which led the Ever Given to run aground in the middle of the Suez Canal.
Alright, so as you can see, there we go, and well, we aren't really blocking the entire Suez Canal. We're only blocking a portion of it. In reality, if you've seen the photos once again, you will see that it really did block the entire canal. And there was this line of ships behind it waiting to go through the Suez Canal that couldn't. And some of these ships would actually just turn around and make their way the long way around, which would be going around Africa instead of going up through the Suez Canal, which they couldn't at this point. So Jlkillen, how long was the ship actually stuck here?
Yeah, so the Ever Given would remain grounded in place for 6 days before salvage crews freed her on March 29th, 2021.
So yeah, you can actually see photos of this. They were using excavators to dig out the bow, and there was some pretty heavy damage to the bulbous bow and some of the hull, because that's a lot of ship, and all of that weight going onto the very front of the ship is going to cause some damage, especially when it's being grounded into the sand and rock. So yeah, it wasn't super great, but it wouldn't get any better because the ship ended up getting impounded. And why was that?
Yeah, so the Suez Canal contributes to about 10% of the world's trade. This would reportedly translate to a blockage of the equivalent of almost 66,500 20-foot containers. The vessel would be impounded by the Egyptian government on April 13th, 2021, for refusing to pay a fee of $916 million. This included a $300 million fee in the loss of reputation. The compensation would later be cut down to around $600 million. In early July of 2021, the ship would finally be released by the Egyptian authorities following an agreement on the compensation.
Alright, so as you can see, the Ever Given is out of the Suez Canal, so it's back open. And it is a little more damaged than it was in real life. You can see it's sort of sinking by the bow. And there we go. But, yeah, that is going to do it. I mean, this wasn't necessarily a sinking, but as Jlkillen mentioned, it stopped 10% of global trade. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment. And I'll see you all next time, guys. Goodbye.